So continuing on to question number two, talking about the controls and everything, I think that one overarching theme for this along with anything that happens with professional athletes or collegiate athletes for that matter, no matter how proactive you're going to be, you can't really predict human behavior. Like everybody is different, everybody has their own way of handling things, and it, I think that there's a certain degree of proactivity, but you just got to be ready for anything. And with that being said, I think the book does a great job of discussing proper managerial controls as long as as well as you know taking control of the situation. So the one thing that I found to be applicable to Hope Solo's situation was the concurrent controls, which are fixing behavior as it goes along, making the changes as they see fit to better the bigger picture. So, in looking at the first time she got arrested for domestic violence last year, she did get arrested, but as you all know, you're innocent until proven guilty. So they couldn't make an assumption that she was automatically guilty, but she did sit out the following game that uh, the next game that her professional league had when she was arrested, which I could see as being concurrent control. Like you're trying to do a little bit of damage control for the reputation of the program, and just kind of show that they care about their athletes. Now, once she continued to play the rest of that season, which makes sense because like I said, you're innocent until proven guilty at the end of the day. But so she was cleared of the domestic violence against her family, and about 10 days later, that's when the whole DUI thing came up. And after that happened, I think that the first step that they took was bringing her in and having her talk with the United States women's national team's coach, along with the soccer president, and other personnel. And I think that as managers, I feel as though that was a good example of a successful manager, because one thing that the book outlines for managers is to have an open culture, bringing things to the surface, like um, not making assumptions, and instead of relying on the media and saying anything like that, they allowed her to give her side of the story, and they made a decision in house that she's going to be suspended for 30 days, meaning that she's going to miss at least the first half of that big training camp that I discussed in my first, the exhibition games I discussed in my first video. Um, so it's going to be a big deal, and but I think that now looking at it, the 30-day suspension, they also gave her a list of tasks to do, and I don't know if that means like rehab or something like that, but now seeing that it's her second or third offense involving alcohol in less than a year, I think that there's something in the bigger picture that needs to be looked at. And I think that one good thing that I feel as though they've done as an organization, the soccer organization, is that they have not really said anything about her in the media, remained objective, ambiguous, which is, I think, protecting her privacy, protecting the image of the organization, and I feel as though that was a really good move on their part. So I think that, as I said, I think that everybody's unique. But in looking at this, I can see why it's kind of, there are a lot of red flags being raised, because, not only is she and the rest of that soccer team have the ability to make soccer an up and coming, you know, sport in the United States. Like, they have the ability to do what I said Jenny Finch did for softball. Like, they can be the image of what they think about and be household names for women's soccer players. And the fact that she is representative of you know an organization that represents empowerment of women, I think that something needs to be done to make sure she's okay at the end of the day, first of all. But then if she's not, I would say for the future, if she comes back and she's kind of, they're still uneasy about whether or not she's going to be able to retain her spot. I think that it goes beyond soccer, and I think that she needs to be removed from the team permanently for her health and for the reputation of the organization. I I honestly feel bad because it just seems like there's an issue going on that transcends anything that soccer has been doing. And um, in looking at that, I can apply the 7 stage cycle of like control and everything, and defining the problem, figuring out the strategies, figuring out what's going to work best, and applying it. And they did. So hopefully this time it'll have a little bit more of an impact on her. I hope so. And then also looking at the overlying themes of strategic management of quality, efficiency, and customer responsiveness. Like, you got to put out a quality product, and if you have and efficient and as well. And if you have somebody who is a distraction off the field, then how are you being efficient, and what kind of product are you giving to the fans, to the younger girls wanting a role model? Is that really quality, having somebody who's been in trouble with the law and with alcohol and everything and domestic violence? Like I said, I feel bad for Hope Solo, but they, as an organization, have these duties to give to the consumers, and you know, discussing the consumers. How are the fans going to react to this? So there are a lot of things at play with this organization. It'll be an interesting story to see as time goes on. I hope that uh, Hope comes out of it, healthy and makes the right decision on her own. But I think that a suspension for now and kind of taking a step back from the soccer team and the camp is a good decision. So I guess we'll see from there. Hope everyone has a good week.